Well, you know, this has been a fun week for us at Quality Digest as we've had a chance to support World Metrology Week all week long. Actually, World Metrology Day is this Sunday.
Yep.
And one of our long-standing partners, the Coordinate Metrology Society. So, as many of you know, the CMS is the organization behind the annual Coordinate Metrology Systems Conference, or the CMSC, which convenes again this year, July, in New Orleans. So, and we are fortunate to have on the show with us today CMSC Chairperson Chuck Pfeffer to talk about us a little bit about metrology and World Metrology Day. Chuck is also Director of Product Management for 3D Imaging at FARO Technologies. So, hello, Chuck.
Hey, Dirk.
Hey,
Mike.
Good
to see
how's
you.
it going?
How are you, Chuck?
Well, thanks for joining us, Chuck. So tell us a little bit, just briefly, right up front, what is World Metrology Day, and how did it all get started?
Okay, well, thanks for starting me off with a history question. You know, I went to school for engineering to avoid history. It's not my strong suit. But World Metrology Day basically is an anniversary. It dates back to the signing of the Meter Convention, which was on May 20th in 1875. So 137th anniversary of that signing. It basically set the framework for global collaboration in the science of measurement and created worldwide uniformity for measurement. It was created by the International Bureau of Weights and Measures, which is in France, and today it's recognized by national standards organizations in 80 countries, including some that you already mentioned today. NIST is one, NPL in the UK, PTB in Germany, and 80 other countries.
Okay. Now, one of the things that we've talked about on this show, and I know is a big issue for you guys there at the CMSC, and actually for any of the companies that work in metrology, is that the discipline of metrology is slowly graying. The people who work in it are retiring, moving out of the field, and that there is maybe job opportunities that are opening up in the field. So tell us a little bit about that aspect and the career opportunities in metrology.
Yeah, it's interesting. If you come to our conference, you see kind of the core group from the metrology professionals around the world, and it's definitely a graying workforce. But what's interesting is the growth that we see comes from the introduction of new technologies that make it easier for people to deploy metrology, and cheaper and easier. So you have this new group that's not as educated on the background of metrology, but has a capability of performing the tasks that were performed before by some seasoned veterans. So it's an interesting mix, and it makes for a very interesting conference for us. We see the growth very clearly. We have 40 to 50 vendors typically exhibiting at our conference, and over half of them have been actively recruiting through our communications this year.
And I'll know we'll get to this in a little bit, but you just kind of identified a sword that cuts both ways. You mentioned that the equipment is getting easier to use, and that kind of leads to an issue, doesn't it, where it seems so easy to use that it's almost like an unskilled person can use it, and that isn't really the case, right?
Yeah, well, it's easy to use means that the training to understand how to use the specific equipment is pretty minimal, and the computers and the programs that go along with it have also been simplified. But the key background that you need to understand how to set up a measurement job, how to understand a drawing, how to know what's important for a part to fit together or to operate properly, that's still something that needs to be understood to get the results from this great new equipment. So there is a missing piece of the puzzle, I'd say, and that's something that CMS is focusing on specifically in the last 4 years to try and rectify that.
Okay, and what kind of background, I mean, since you kind of brought it up, what kind of background would be required if somebody's interested in getting into metrology or to being a metrology technician or engineer? And I mean, is this a college education? Is it a tech school or vocational school type thing?
Well, starting at the tech school, vocational school level, I'd say that a basic math understanding is important. So I think coming in even at the technician level, understanding math and some basic geometry is important. And for the professional level, a mechanical engineering or oftentimes any engineering field could lead itself to being a successful metrologist.
Okay. Now tell me a little bit then, what is the CMS doing? I mean, you guys have got some pretty exciting, over the last couple of years, you guys have been working on something that's pretty exciting, and I think is getting one huge step closer this year that's going to be talked about at the CMS. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I'm sort of hinting at that here, that we're taking some action to help fill that gap. This is our 28th year for the CMSC, for the conference from the CMS. And just in case not everybody's aware, the conference showcases the greatest, that's available in 3D portable metrology technology, bringing together the advanced users to share their experiences, and more recently, the new users to learn from their experience. And what we've heard in the last 5-10 years is that there's really a need for a certification program, for a way for operators, technicians, and professionals to be able to show that they know metrology and that they're qualified to do the work that they're being asked to do. And since 2009, we took this vision and we've progressed to a point where we're in the home stretch now. And our goal is to actually release the certification program by the end of this year. This year at the conference, we're going to be rolling out a pilot exam. So each day of the conference, there'll be a dedicated time where our members can take this pilot exam for free, and it will basically give us the feedback that we need to finalize the exam so we can move forward before the end of the year.
And do you actually have the curriculum and so forth for the training and so forth that's been lined out?
The training is not lined up yet, and actually the certification committee is not actually creating the training programs, but we will define the curriculum, and it will be available for third parties to offer training for anyone who feels they need a formal training program to prepare for the exam. Additionally, this exam is going to cover what we call a core, the core body of knowledge for portable metrology. Going beyond that, we'd like to incorporate the different technologies that are used. And so that is going to be more of an interactive, hands-on type training, type test environment. And we're also testing some ideas for that at the conference as well. We're going to have a very large booth space, 20 by 60 booth space, with at least six stations set up. And you'll be able to go and be tested with some of the portable metrology equipment that we show at the show. I think we have arms and trackers at least. So you can actually run through a test with the portable equipment, and that'll help us understand what works and what doesn't work. And the idea is to talk about the importance of practical testing at the conference.
Okay, so I think this was an important element that came up early on when you guys were discussing certification, that it had to be more than just knowledge base, it had to be more than just the basics of measurement and stuff. You really had to have some practical skills on specific types of instruments. Is that right?
Yeah, and I think that is an important part of what we want to do. What we've learned from our partner, we've partnered with ASPRS, who's a photogrammetry group that has a certification in place. So we're sort of able to learn from what they've done over the past decade with their program. And we're taking baby steps because they have a single core body of knowledge which is difficult enough to manage. And as we add technology, we're going to be adding complexity to the process. So we're going to roll out this core, and then we're going to assess the complexity of adding the technology. We're definitely going to add it. It's just a matter of it might not be next year. We'll see how it goes. But this is also the first step in testing that with this importance of practical testing part of the conference that we're going to have this year.
And when do you, just real quick, when do you expect to actually have a finalized, I guess, curriculum and certification, like set up and ready to go and start rolling it out? Is that something like next year? Or?
Our goal is to have that before the end of this year. Wow. So at the conference, the attendees, the members will get in their bag some of the documents that we're going to vote on as far as the requirements to take the exam and some of the legal items that need to be understood before you become certified. And finally, the pilot exam, which we hope everyone can take during the conference. We'll be able to use that to establish the cut score and determine which questions are the best and which ones have to be in the test. And that'll lead to us rolling out the program by the end of the year.
Now, Chuck, today is Friday, May 18th, and I believe that today is the cutoff date for your early bird registration for CMSC in New Orleans. How are registrations going so far? What should people know about attending the show? What do they need to do?
Yeah, well, I'd say that I think our choice of New Orleans seems to have been a good one. We have tremendous demand so far. Our hotel rooms are going fast, and our registration is filling up as well. So today is the last day for the early bird, and I'd also urge you to book your room. If you're planning to be at the conference and you want to be in the beautiful Roosevelt Hotel, you should book your room soon because the rooms are definitely going fast. We expect a very big crowd this year.
That's great.
New Orleans, fun.
New Orleans, yeah. www.cmsc.org is the website.
Sure.
I actually wrote a story that appeared in yesterday's Quality Digest Daily about World Metrology Week and the CMSC. So if you want to click on that, my story link is right below the player page here. You can navigate out from the links in there out to the CMSC homepage as well. Find out about membership and find out about how to attend the show this year in New Orleans. So make sure you check that out. Now, Chuck, before we let you go, of course, this was World Metrology Week, and we ran a series of trivia questions all week. We had a lot of response to that. A lot of people answered questions correctly, and we had a fun time with it. We gave away daily prizes, daily Kindles from some of our sponsors. And today, we are announcing our grand prize winner.
That's right.
Sponsored by Geomagic. And Geomagic is sponsoring let me get this right, a 3D Connection Space Pilot Pro, which is a 3D mouse. Very cool.
Yep.
Great for CAD applications and gaming. A lot of great applications for that. So, Chuck, I'm going to turn it over to you and announce our grand prize winner of that wonderful prize, who we now are ready to announce. So go right ahead.
All right. So again, I'd like to thank Geomagic again for sponsoring this the grand prize, and the winner is Jonas Mitchell of Panasonic Avionics. Congratulations to Jonas and thanks
Mitchell.
Again to Geomagic. I'd also like to thank the other sponsors who sponsored the 4 other giveaways we had this week. It would be Brunson, Hubs, TriMet, and A&M Precision Measurement. And again, of course, thank you to Geomagic and congratulations, Jonas.
That's great.
Terrific.
Well, thank you, Chuck, and hey, thanks for joining us. We certainly, again, encourage everyone out there to check out CMSC this year. We'll see you, Chuck, definitely in New Orleans in a couple of months, if not before, and thanks again for joining us today on the show.
Thanks, Chuck.
Yeah, thank you. Looking forward to seeing everyone in New Orleans.
We'll see you then. Thanks, man.
All right.
All right. Well, hey,
that was a good week.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of interesting stories.
We had fun because we had not only the contest, but we had a lot of these interesting applications, which were really unique, and we had some fun games and some fun.
Yeah, people just kind of let the whole metrology thing slide by. I mean, it seems a little geeky, a little nerdy, and you just don't realize that we can't do anything in today's modern life without some sort of precision measurement. I mean, it affects everything from the gas pump to what we're doing right here in the studio.
Flying a plane.
Flying a plane especially.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into that. So yeah, check that out. And yeah, definitely consider attending CMSC. It's a really good show. We've been longtime supporters of that, and we go every year. So
okay, so from